Right, we're just going to talk a little bit about responsible use of your Chromebooks. This is something that you've done a lot of already. So you'll remember that you had, depending which year group you're in, you've either had an induction session where I've talked you through what is appropriate use when you were handed your Chromebook, or if you're in current year 7, you've had an assembly about that where I talked you through in assembly what appropriate use of your Chromebook is. So I'm not going to go through everything. You've got your Chromebook user guide, you've got a homeschool agreement that you filled in, and you should be pretty familiar by now with how to treat your Chromebook. But there are a few things that I'd like to make sure that we cover. So the first one is just using your brain basically when you're using it to make sure that you look after it and it doesn't get damaged. So when you're walking around with it, I think you'll be able to see this on the webcam. Don't carry it like that with just one hand or fingers or something like that. It should be in its case, it should be in its bag, and you should be carrying it around like that. If you're maybe moving it between tables, you might not put it in its bag for that, but at least carry it with two hands and make sure that it's closed when you're carrying between tables so that there's less chance of it being knocked and dropped and damaged and things like that. When you're using it, make sure it's on a flat surface, make sure that it's steady before you open it up and you use it. And make sure that you're using it responsibly in lessons. So remember, when you're in a lesson, you should only be using your Chromebook for work and as directed by your teacher. By all means, request to use your Chromebook if it's not part of the task and you think that it'll help you and there's something that you can use your Chromebook for that will enhance or make what you're doing even better. Suggest it to your teacher. And I would imagine most teachers are very open to that. And if there's a reason why they don't want you to use it, accept that and do things in the way that you're asked, okay? But no letting yourself get distracted by it and things like that. Think about how you're communicating when you're using your Chromebook. So we do still get one or two people who haven't got the message that they're not to send inappropriate emails to other people. We get people sending daft pictures and things like that. We can actually see all of that stuff. We get access to your emails. Stuff like that gets caught by our filtering. We also get told about a lot of that stuff. And even if you delete things, we can go back, we can look at the history, we can see who's been sending what. And by doing that, remember, you're breaking our acceptable use policy, which you've signed and agreed, and your parents have signed and agreed to. And if you're going to continue doing that, we obviously then start removing privileges from people, like the ability to use email. We don't like doing that sort of thing. So this is really just a fair warning to make sure that you're aware that that type of thing can happen. Make sure that backgrounds and things like that are appropriate. I've had reports of some people putting daft pictures or taking selfies and having those as a background. We don't mind you choosing your own background on your Chromebook for your screen, but it must be appropriate, and we don't want anything daft on there. So keep it sensible, keep it professional. This is a device that you use in school. It's meant to be used professionally, and you should be treating it as such. Make sure that when you're in a lesson and teacher's talking, you close your lid. So it's just about respect. It's making sure that anybody who's doing any talking that you're meant to be paying attention to, you are paying them the respect of fully listening to what they're saying. If you've got your Chromebook open and you're busy typing on it or looking at a website while someone's talking to you, whether that's a teacher or another student, then you're being disrespectful and you're not giving them your full attention. So your teachers will remind you to close lids, but you should be doing that automatically anyway when the teacher's addressing the class, okay? So there's just a few reminders which everyone will be familiar with. Lots of other things in a user guide you might want to go back and have a little look at, ways that you can make sure that you don't damage your Chromebook and what to do if you do damage it, things like that. But for now, I just wanted to give you those brief reminders.